All right. And with that, we'll move forward. So let's go ahead and jump into our next, and that's going to be CJ Stroud getting his first win of his NFL career. CJ Stroud um, made history as well, too. He's the third quarterback after uh, Cam Newton and Justin Herbert to reach 900 yards in his first three games, and he did it. You know, he had 2 games. His first 2 games, he was able to throw for I think 300 yards in both of those games. He actually week 2 was the leader in all pass yards out of any quarterback. He hasn't thrown any interceptions yet either. So everything's looking really good, but the team's still 1-2. But yesterday was a full circle game. And I feel like it wasn't just about CJ Stroud leading their offense yesterday. It was a lot about the every single unit firing at will at the same time. Your defense was playing awesome yesterday. They really were the star of the game. Let's keep it real. The special teams was firing on all cylinders. They got a big punt return. They got a big kickoff return in that game as well. They were able to cover kicks very well as well too. And then the offense was just complimentary towards those 2 units, in my opinion. And I feel like they did everything correct. And what happened was is that the Jaguars put a little bit more extra pressure on themselves once they got down. And you know what? Houston just played it cool. They just went about their business and told themselves that we're going to be happy with whatever result we got because we're putting in a great effort today. And like their coach said, you guys went ahead and saved up some money. And then today we cashed out. And that's exactly what you saw. And you know what? You saw some good things coming in the final minutes of that Colts game the week before. People do not know this. Sometimes teams absolutely get it in a bad loss. You know what I mean? They'll wind up losing the game, but they'll make some really good plays there at the end of the game. And everybody, well, I wish they would have did it earlier. Well, they figured some things out. They figured out things that can work, and they're figuring out the things that can't work. And that's exactly what happened in Houston. And Houston came back and they did absolutely tremendous yesterday because of that, because they had enough time to look at film, enough time to understand exactly what's going to work, what's not going to work, and they were able to get themselves a 20-point win against the team that's considered the best team in the division and the team that should be winning the division. Do you know that the Jaguars probably had the highest odds of anybody to win a division? Literally, they are saying that they will win the division with no problems. But we told you guys from day one, the AFC South is still a wide open division. You just can't hand a division to the Jaguars when everybody's kind of the same exact team. And you got a lot of different young quarterbacks in this group as well too. You got CJ Stroud in Houston. You got Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. They're both rookies. Then you bring in a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who's the number 1 pick a few years ago, who has now the expectations to step into being an elite player. You have that in the fold as well too. And then you have Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee, who's pretty much, if you really look at it, once you guys stop talking about all the other nonsense, he's probably the best quarterback in the division if you really look at the numbers of everything and who can you trust to really get you to the promised land. And pretty much we are in a spot right now where you have a division where anybody can win it. And that's where it makes the parity that much better in the NFL this year. But I truly do think that CJ Stroud just had a good moment. He showed that he belongs in the NFL. But I'm still going to say the jury's out because we have to understand the first 2 games, those were empty stats, like empty calories. You literally were playing in garbage time and you were able to get some things going and it looked really good and you were able to stat up. You know what I mean? You didn't win the game. You didn't do anything to really help you win the game, but the stats were amazing because you were looked good because you didn't stop trying. But that doesn't mean that you're one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. It means that it's not that hard for you to make the transition from college to the NFL because you're an NFL type player. You know what I mean? You go about your business like one. But that doesn't mean that he's arrived yet. There's still things that have to be worked on. And he has to get to the best stat of all. become a actual winner in the league. That game was more of a game where a team didn't take you as seriously as they should have. That's what I'm gonna stay with, and that's what I'm gonna roll with, and that's where we move on. So